Hello and welcome to another Happy Pod, the show where I'll tell you about what it is in a minute. My name's Nathan. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Lawrence Thomas Heisey. Hello, how are you, sir?
I know, you can't pretend that was a normal thing that you can just do with no
The whole point of doing that was to pretend and move past here.
I just wasn't expecting it, and you went in...
No one cares. Hello, this is the show where we talk about pop culture, we talk about everything going on in that realm, and try to do so without the ongoing toxic discourse, and just try and be generally more positive about it. We don't always succeed, but we do have a good time doing it. Lawrence, for the second time, hello.
Hello, sorry. I've composed myself now.
Okay.
For people wondering, Nathan did slap himself in the face. It was more of like a wake yourself up slap, but it caught me off guard, and that's why I was cracking up.
There was no need.
It made me laugh.
You got to do what you got to do in order to stay pumped up.
That's true.
So
it's like the the High School Musical warm-up exercises that people
No.
do. Okay, I know you do. I know you just wanted to say.
I don't. What,
you know
what?
the Sharpay ones where she goes like.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I do know those. You should have been more specific.
My apologies. Were there more warm-up exercises in High School Musical?
Well, no, but when you say High School Musical, I don't immediately think of Sharpay doing that.
Well, it's the only warm-up exercise in High School Musical, no?
I mean, yeah, but I'm not immediately thinking of warm-up exercises, though, am I?
That's true. Oh, I'll give you that. That's fine. Did you leave me anything? You've said all the positive stuff. We keep it cool. We keep it snazzy.
That's all done. That's all done. Yeah.
Would you like me to jump straight into the question?
Yes.
Fine. Here is the theme. Another happy question. I like introducing the theme now. I'm going to keep doing it. We're talking about House of the Dragon. I have a question. No, I'll be honest. I did write this about maybe 10 minutes ago. No, but I think it's for writing it 10 minutes ago. I think I've pulled it together pretty decently. So we would all agree Game of Thrones didn't end in a stellar way. It was considered top tier TV. People loved it for seasons, and then around about, I don't know, where did it dip off for you? Like season 6, 7-ish?
I enjoyed most of it, just the last season, really.
Yeah.
Was where it dropped off for me.
Yeah, I think most people would agree. Yeah, and basically, we spoke about this, House of the Dragon coming out, and we said they're going to need to put in an awful lot of work to revive the Game of Thrones world / brand / whatever. So my question to you, Nathan, is what largely considered bad movie or TV show do you think you could revive with a spin-off? It has to show like you don't have to tell me what the spin-off like premise is, but the world or the characters, they've got to have a bit of promise. It can't just be a flat out terrible fucking thing. But it was like it wasn't handled the greatest, and you think you could make a spin-off or kind of revive it in a different way.
So something that was once beloved has fallen from grace.
Yeah.
And I gotta make a spin-off from it.
Is that like Lost? I have never seen it, but I hear people don't like the ending of Lost.
I don't know, I've never seen it.
People say they've seen Lost. Like I hear Lost is one of like the most world-renowned TV shows, but I've never met anyone that's watched Lost.
Probably because you was like 12 when it was on.
I mean, yeah, I was 12 when other shows were on. I was 12 when like Breaking Bad was on and stuff.
You was watching Breaking Bad at 12 years
No,
old?
I wasn't watching it when I was 12.
Well, there you go.
No, but I know people now that have watched it.
Yeah, but that's different though, isn't it?
I suppose Netflix picked it up and shit, I guess. But yeah, that's my question to you. Basically, a premise, universe, character, world, whatever thing is in the mud, you have to revive it. What are you choosing? What franchise or IP are you selecting for that revival?
House of the Dragon. House und der Dragon. A Game of Thrones spin-off, which came out feels like 30 seconds after Game of Thrones ended.
Yeah. Do you remember hearing this announced?
No.
I can
kind of feel like it's just always been there. Really.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's been announced for so long.
I feel like it was announced before Game of Thrones even ended.
You could be right. I don't know, but you could be right. I just remember, at least it was definitely announced after Game of Thrones turned not great. And I just remember reading that news and being like, who gives a shit about this? Who is going to watch this? Little did I know, a lot of people would show up for it. Like, I was surprised at how many people tuned back in and weren't just like, nah, I can't even be asked to watch that. I'll wait until it's over and see if it's good.
I remember that's what you said you was going to do. Because I watched the first episode.
Yeah.
And then I was like, did you watch House of the Dragon? And you're like, no, I'll just wait until it's out and watch it all. In that typical dismissive Lawrence way that you do.
Yeah. I think that was my original plan, but there's certain shows you can avoid and there's certain shows you can't.
I feel like you don't... I keep interrupting you, sorry, but I feel like you don't like watching shows as they air.
I think it really depends. It really depends. I do prefer...
Okay, but I feel like every show we watch, you don't like watching.
No, but that's
it
not
as
like...
it airs.
It's difficult. I think if a show's weekly... I know where you're coming from, because there is kind of no rhyme or reason to it. Like, if a show's released weekly, I want to watch it in a binge. I think Netflix altered my brain because it's just how I've watched a lot of TV shows that I've liked. I prefer to I don't like to share its screen time with other things. Like for example, I think Andor was coming out at the same time She-Hulk was coming out. Like there was a little overlap there. I think maybe like a couple of weeks, maybe. And I don't want to be like, I'm watching She-Hulk today and then I'm gonna go and watch Andor. Like they're two vastly different things, and I hate watching like two things at the same time. I don't know why.
Is it the same time though? Because like they come out on different days though.
Yeah, no, I know, but like it's difficult to explain. I know where you're coming from because it is a weird kind of like mental barrier for me. But like it's just a case of I don't like sharing like brain real estate with two vastly different things. It's different if they're like pretty similar tones or like kind of even down to like the length. If like I don't mind watching like two shows that are like an hour episodes. Or like, I just don't like to watch vastly different things, like a sitcom type show, and then like a political thriller. Like I don't know why. I just can't cross that barrier in my mind.
All right.
I don't know where to go with this. 'Cause I feel like it ended like a million years ago as well, even though it came out a million years ago too. Where are you at with it? Were you interested in watching this, picking it back up, or?
No, not remotely. I genuinely could not give less of a fuck about this show before it started. I really liked Game of Thrones, like I said, until the last season, and I can't stress enough how much I hated the ending of it.
Yeah.
And just the... Feel free to disagree, we're all entitled to our own opinions, whatever, but in my opinion, just the complete fucking 180 character assassination and frankly just misogynistic writing they had for Daenerys. It was just painful.
It turned into woman went crazy.
Yeah,
and then just made her. Yeah, I don't think that's like an uncommon fucking opinion. I think like even the people that are like the sexist YouTubers that would like have a problem with it were still like it's still not what was expected and it's still too sharp of a fucking turn for a character because it is. I'm pretty sure the jump from I'm the people's savior to I'm the people's murderer was like one episode, right? Or half an episode or something ridiculous.
It was rough.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It was bad.
It was rough.
But yeah, so you weren't interested in this.
Was not interested in this. Ever since they announced it, I was like, couldn't care less. Don't care. Trailer came out, didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Could not care less.
I didn't watch the trailer either.
Had no plans to watch anything of the show. Heard Matt Smith was cast, and I was like, oh, I do like Matt Smith, but still, no, don't care.
It had a lot of uphill battles to win.
It did. And then it came out, and then I thought, well, why not? So
I've got nothing else on.
I've got nothing else on. I'll watch the first episode. Let's just see how shit it is. And I didn't like the first episode.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought it was boring. I thought it was... The birth scene in particular was very unnecessary, I thought.
There's a lot of unnecessary birth scenes in this.
And very just... Yeah, it was just very unnecessary.
Triggering
really.
and offensive, perhaps?
It was definitely triggering. And just, very, very unnecessary. So that put me off quite a bit. The moment where I feel like they thought the big moment of that first episode was King Viserys talking to Rhaenyra, Millie Alcock playing the younger one of her, and basically saying that King Aegon had a dream, and the dream was the Song of Ice and Fire, and you're supposed to be like, oh, that's Game of Thrones, I know that's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But the trouble was, I was like, oh, that's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That's the story where Bran ends up on the throne and Daenerys goes crazy for no reason at the end.
Yeah.
So
every time
they just reminded me of the bad thing.
Yeah, every time they did something like that, like there was mentions to that, the mentions to like the prince that was promised thing that also never happened as far as I'm concerned in Game of Thrones.
It did happen. It was just Arya for no reason.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. There was one there waiting to be that character, and then they were just like, let's give it to her. Yeah, every time they mention Game of Thrones, I feel like it did have the opposite effect of what was intended. I was like, no, shush about that. Don't
Yeah,
remind me of that.
Don't mention that. Keep that one quiet. What I did like about that first episode, though, I did like Matt Smith.
Yeah.
As Damon. I thought he was good, and that was pretty much it. So I thought it not terrible, but not great either. Just very middle of the road.
Yeah.
But after that, the second episode, can't remember what happens in it now, but I enjoyed it quite a bit more. And as it went on, the show for me just went from strength to strength. It got a lot better, and it got very good towards the end.
I think the saving grace in this whole thing, like you mentioned Matt Smith, but there's so many others as well, that it's just like these characters have the potential to be very like stagnant. For a long portion of the show, it's just when he kicks the bucket, we're all going to have this war. But he doesn't kick the bucket for a very long time, and the possibility for this show to be boring was very high, and it was a little dull when you started out, like you just said. But the performers in this, like, just fucking bring it home. Like I remember when they announced Matt Smith's casting, and I went, nice try. I'm still not gonna watch this. Like, I like Matt Smith, but like, no, it's not for me. But yeah, like once you know, like there's fucking so many in this. There's like Paddy. Is his name Paddy Constantine?
Constantine.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. You got him. You got Emma Darcy. You've got Olivia Cook. You've got our favourite lizard man, Rhys Ifans. And but like I said, it starts off with a lot of uphill battles. The first one being the pill to swallow that it's a continuation of Game of Thrones, and you really don't want to be burned again, because a lot of people sunk years into loving that show.
Is it a continuation of Game of Thrones?
No, but like I guess an expansion of that lore on screen. Yeah. Not continuation's the wrong word. The other big battle for me, and I remember I didn't know about this, and you told me about it. It introduces a load of characters, and then a lot of them get recast, or like some of them get recast.
Sometimes twice,
yeah. And it's got kind of just after you've always had a grace period to warm to the actors as the characters.
Yeah. And I remember you being very upset by this. I remember when we talked about.
I wouldn't say very upset.
No, you was. I remember you being like, "Oh no, I really like Millie Alcock. Why have they got to cast her out? Why can't they just keep her?" And I'm like, "Well, can you imagine?"
I get it now.
Millie, yes. Can you imagine Millie having a 20-year-old son?
Yeah,
and it just wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. But I mean, like, but then. I think, yeah, you're in that example, you're absolutely right. But I do think one of the show's, I don't even want to say downfalls, because it's not distracting. It's kind of funny that there's certain characters that age so viscerally, and there's other characters that have completely been like frozen in time for like 20, 30 years.
Yeah, that's true. Well, fucking Viserys, he decays. But to be fair to him, he also has disease which causes him to decay.
Yeah,
it's not just a matter of age. He's in a bad way. Matt Smith does not age a day throughout the entire show.
And he watches as his brother basically is like cremating himself as he goes. Yeah.
Otto Hightower also doesn't age a day, really.
No, but he kind of. I think they get it. I think it's easier to forgive when they start as not old men. I don't want to say old, but like men in their 60s.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me too much. But when you're supposed to be like 20 and then 30 and then 40, it's like, what's happening?
Yeah. Clearly, Kristen Cole is drinking from the fountain of youth. Because again, not a day on his face at all. All right, first, let me just say this. Fucking hell, first of all, I'm going to have trouble with the names. Because George R.R. Martin, let me buy you a fucking book of baby names, my guy. Because there's fucking 4 names in all of Westeros, and 3 of them are identical to each other.
Yeah.
Fucking pick a new name. You don't have to be like Viserys and Varon and Valon and Virgin and Vagon and fucking Vagina. You can pick just a name. Like, you got in your main fucking series, you had a guy whose name was John.
That's something that I love about this, and I wish they'd do that, because I've got it written down here. It's very funny that like the side characters in this get the decency of just having a regular name. I think it's like the highborn people get the fancy names, because you've got like you've got Aemond, Daemon, Aegon, Rhaenyra, Rhaenys, Viserys, Lucerys, Jaehaerys, and then every now and again it'll be like, thank you, Lord Dave. It's just like, where has this come from? It's fine if you want to uphold your, like, if George R. R. Martin was like, that was the hill he wanted to die on, like, in terms of, I've got to keep my Targaryen names like they were in the books and everything. But at least don't always have them all in the fucking same scene and all of them wearing the same fucking wig, and then you change the actor that plays them about 8 fucking times. It's so hard to keep up sometimes with this. One thing I wanted to get your opinion on. You've been very vocal on this podcast as well, and just in terms of like talking to me and stuff. You're very much against the idea that death in a show means it's good. Main characters dying in a show means good show and shocking show.
Yeah, I hate it. It's shit.
Yeah.
Don't like it. Actually, one of the reasons why I didn't like the first episode as well, actually.
Yeah. It is a shock value death in the first one. I do agree that, like, over time it does really, really expand Viserys' character because of that incident. But it's definitely a first episode hook, and it's framed as such as well.
Yeah.
But what do you? I think this kind of evolves it a bit beyond shock factor deaths, and maybe that's because we haven't got into the meat of it yet. Like, the war hasn't started in the show. Do you think there's I don't know. Do you think the show is guilty of that at all?
Not as much as Game of Thrones was. There's not necessarily any deaths which just feel like, oh, let's have that character die because it'll be cool or anything like that. Like, the deaths, I feel like they actually mean something, and they're for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's surprisingly few of them, really.
There is.
Like, Viserys' death is obviously important and crucial to the story.
And very much not unexpected.
Not unexpected at all. Like, we was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Like,
it got to the point where people on Twitter were like, okay, he'll definitely die in this episode. And then he comes in with like half a face and people are like, he is still clutching on for life.
Yeah. He was hanging on, but good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. And then the only real other one I can think of is the one at the end, which again is kind of a catalyst event, which kicks off or will kick off the fucking Targaryen civil war. Really. Yeah. It was all polite and semi-peaceful until that point. Tensions were high, but that's the boiling point. Yeah. That's like shit's hit the fan big time after that. Like, there's no peace talks, there's no coming back. It's fucking dragons are gonna rain down on King's Landing. I saw people comparing the final shot of Rhaenyra turning around and the enraged shot, the stare down. Yeah, I saw the episode. You did. You certainly did. Yeah. I saw a lot of people comparing that to being like, why is it when Daenerys does this, she's gone off the handle and she's a war criminal, but then like Rhaenyra has this same stare and it's all fine. It's because they took a season working on it. Yeah. And it's the point of the show and because story. Before this moment happened, we didn't have 7 seasons previously of Rhaenyra showing us how kind she was and showing us that she was the best person ever and showing us that she was someone who always wanted to help the people no matter what. Only for 2 of her friends to be killed, and then she goes, "Nah, fuck it, I reckon. Let's just kill 2 of her friends to be killed because she marched up to the front gate and went, 'What up? I'm coming in.' Against all of her advisors' ideas." It's not comparable, I don't think. What was I going to say? The reason I say about the deaths and stuff is I think it's a bit more evolved. Like you say, they're surprisingly restrained, but then also when the show could have easily made just a dumb decision, and if people listen to this that have read the books and I'm getting something wrong because a character comes back or something later on, I don't care. I'm just watching the show right now. This is what I got from it right now. Who plays her husband, Rhaenyra's husband? Matt Smith. No, sorry, the first one, the one that they pretended to burn. Oh, I don't know who plays him, but Vaelon? That guy, yeah, Vaelon or something along those lines. A name beginning with V, more than likely. Yeah. I like the fact that it would have been so easy for the show to be like, Daemon's a bit of a rough around the edges guy. He's going to go in and kill him to declare his love for Rhaenyra and take his place as her husband. But they don't do that. No.
When they killed him, or quote unquote killed him, I went, oh, it's a bit lazy. I quite like that character. And then at the end, they show that he sailed off, and they put in the extra effort to just do something that wasn't just, fuck him, we threw him in the furnace or whatever. Like, it wasn't just blunt like that.
Yeah, we killed him because
that'll get the tweets going.
Yeah. Hashtag this one's dead. No, they do seem to have kind of moved on for that, and I think a big part of that is kind of it's no longer just fucking Dan and Dave writing it.
Yeah.
It's a whole new team, really, which is good. It's good to have some fresh blood in there to do something different, to twist it up. I don't want to say clearly, but it's my belief that clearly. No, again, I don't want to say clearly. It is my belief.
It seems like you do want to say clearly.
No, it is my belief, my interpretation, that they seem to have lost interest in Game of Thrones because they were looking towards other upcoming projects.
Yeah,
and whether or not those projects came to fruition, who's to say?
I would say the mishandling has been kind of like karma got them in the end.
Potentially,
yeah.
But again, who's to say?
I think most people are to say it's pretty much done.
Again, who's to say?
Who's to say?
We'll never know. But to me, it seems like their attention was elsewhere, and I think as time went on, the show unfortunately suffered for that. I think it's a good idea that we got a new team in here, like I say, some fresh blood working on it to not repeat those mistakes and to give us something new, but also at the same time remind you of the stuff that you did like about Game of Thrones, which this does quite well. Get rid of the music, get a new theme. Don't be lazy.
Yeah, I thought that. I was really surprised when it came up. And I just went, maybe, and then, like, I waited maybe like 30 seconds. I was like, it's going to do something else. It's going to like spin off into like a different thing to be like, it's the world of Game of Thrones, but a different story this time. And it just wasn't. And like, don't get me wrong, it's a good theme, but it's not that good.
Theme.
You could have composed something else.
You could have made something else.
Yeah.
Who is composing it? Is it the same guy?
Yeah, well, it's the same song. Like, as in, you mean composing the whole show?
Yeah.
I think it's Ramin Djawadi, I think. I'm not certain. He's one of my favourites. He did the Driving with the Top Down from Iron Man. That's a banger right there.
I don't know what that is.
It's the one where Iron Man's flying for the first time and it goes dun 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 dun.
It is, yeah. I'm looking it up now. Ramin Djawadi, I would say. Djawadi.
What have I said?
You said Djawadi.
Did I?
Yeah.
Well, what I think, to be honest, what I did say was whatever the right pronunciation is.
Yeah, it's well,
the show isn't short of bangers.
This is what I'm saying. He fucking composed. Is it Light of the Seven? That just goes fucking hard in Game of Thrones. Like, you can make a new song, surely. Like, if you can make Light of the Seven, you can fucking compose.
His discography, I think that's what they call it with composers as well. May not be.
His Spotify playlist.
Yeah. His Spotify Wrapped is no, he's an amazingly talented composer, and how he handles the whole show in itself is great. There's bangers even in this show, but it's just odd. It was one of them moments where I went, stop it, please, just stop bringing my mind back to Game of Thrones, because even that now is like, that song itself is synonymous with that stupid Peter Dinklage remix that goes Peter Dinklage, Peter. Like, I don't know, it feels too steeped in the trenches of negative backlash to Game of Thrones to use that. But they did. Who knows? Maybe another one for season 2. Maybe they'll see that and be like, maybe we fucked it there. One thing that I liked about this was it has the writing of season 1 of Game of Thrones, but the production value of season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Does it?
Yeah, bar certain things, which I know... Does it? Hang on, let me present you your stage, because I know you have a point. Go on.
Okay. You say it has the production value of Series A Game of Thrones, which, as we know, costs like fucking... was it? It's like 10 million, 15 million an episode or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Something fucking insane.
Remember that a lot of that was paying people.
True, but it still looked good for the most part when you could see it, apart from that one episode.
Which is the one that looked bad? I can't remember.
I mean, when you could see it, because you couldn't see it. That's the thing. They just didn't get any lights in. So
I don't want to keep interrupting you, but I just remembered the one. Do you remember I can't remember what the episode is, but the one where they all fuck up the Night King, the big war in Game of Thrones. That one. The director and the director of photography went on Twitter and went, "It's not too dark. I know because I lit it." And then went on a big Twitter thread about how people's TVs aren't calibrated properly, and a point that I think you would definitely agree with. If it's not widely accessible to people's TV settings, maybe switch up how you do it.
Yes.
You fucking idiot.
Yes. It's and that very same guy came back and directed an episode in this show.
Yep.
And once again, the exact same complaints.
I can't fucking see anything.
I can't see what's going on. Get a light, my dude.
Yeah.
Just fucking hell.
And do you know what the worst thing about that is?
No.
I looked into it. It's shot in broad daylight.
Yeah, it is. It is shot in broad daylight.
If you have that shit on a slider, just level it up a bit.
Yeah, just make it lighter.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Is there any thematic reason this needs to be total darkness so we can't see it? It's not a podcast. Like, I want to see Matt Smith. The production value of Game of Thrones Season 8 was obviously very large. And I'm not denying that this clearly had a big budget as well.
Yeah.
This clearly money was spent. I don't think it looks anywhere near as good. Well, I don't think it looks as good as Season 8 of Game of Thrones. And I think they can clearly tell where that budget was cut a few times. I remember very distinctly every time we go to Dragonstone in season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's very grand. It's really good. It's this big ancient Dragonstone castle. You know, there's dragons carved into all the stonework, and it's the beautiful steps that wind all the way up and get there. It's a great real location as well for the most part. And then in House of the Dragon we get there and it's always foggy. It's just surrounded by fog.
It's the time of year.
It's the time of year. It's just surrounded by fog, and it's always like mid-dawn or early evening or anything like that. There's never just clear shots of it.
Do you not like how they lit that table up? They lit the table up. The little
that was
table.
Was pretty cool. But that was like, you can do that for like $20 probably.
No. Like, I'm not saying it. You know, it was expensive. I'm just saying it did look cool. It was like a nice little Dragonstone touch.
I'm talking more about like the exterior of Dragonstone. A lot of shots of King's Landing looked very CG and just very.
Did you like the one courtyard that young Rhaenyra went to?
Yeah, it was great. She spent a lot of time there.
Yeah,
I liked the one hallway and the one stairway in the Red Keep that they have.
Oh fuck! Great. You're saying all this, and I'm going, oh, you're not. You're actually not wrong.
Just keep walking up that. I'd say the Iron Throne looks a lot better.
Oh, it looks amazing. Yeah.
It's a lot closer to how it should look. It looks really shit in Game of Thrones when you go, but it's just a chair.
It is just
a little chair. It's got some spikes on the top of it, but really it's just a little chair.
Remember when the dragon burns it down because it hates the symbol of...
The dragon burns it down because he understands symbolism and concepts and all this sort of stuff.
He'd have a fucking harder time burning that chair down though in House of the Dragon. It's fucking up on a big hill. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, there's a lot more swords, as there should be. So yeah, the throne looks better. When I think it's Rhaenys pops out of the sept, the dragon pit. I don't know what the fuck they call it.
Oh, when he's getting crowned.
Yeah, during Aegon's coronation, when she pops out. And it's like that scene in Shrek that everyone says. And it's very foggy.
Yeah.
It's very foggy, which is fair because a dragon has just smashed through concrete, but still, come on, it's a fantasy show.
But they know that the dragon has smashed through concrete, and they're like, oh, we can use that.
Yeah, exactly. For the most part, all the dragons look great, though. When you see the dragons, they look great. Again, when you see them.
Some wobbly shots of people riding them this time round.
Yes, yeah, there are a few. There's a few awkward dragon stuff, but just the actual dragons themselves look great.
Yeah.
I love the look of Matt Smith's one. How it's like all like really gangly and it's got like a massive neck and stuff, and it's quite serpent-like, which is cool. There's that big fucker, which is great. Yeah, but I don't know what the budget is, but I would argue that it's not quite as high as season 8, which I think is possibly good because you know, cutting back some places can be good for you sometimes.
That's true. Taking it back to the basics and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how expensive it was price wise. I know that if there were budget cuts, it was paying Matt Smith's fucking enormous salary.
Do you reckon Matt Smith call for an enormous salary?
Yeah, he's
so.
a name now. He's a big name now.
I think he is because of this.
Do you
I wouldn't
think?
say. Yeah, I wouldn't say he was a big name because what's he? The biggest thing he's done before this is Doctor Who. But what else has he done?
He was in the Sarah Jane Adventures for an episode or two.
Playing the Doctor.
It counts. Maybe it's the second biggest thing. What has he done recently? He's done that. So he's done Doctor Who. He was in Last Night in Soho, which won't have contributed to that. Yeah, I know.
Who cares?
It flopped. I like the film, but it flopped. All right. What else has he done?
He had a very minor role in Terminator Genesis.
Did he?
Yes, he was like in the future, and he was like an evil computer or whatever. Mostly forgettable. Again, and that was in 2015.
Yeah.
So who cares?
But do you not feel like? I mean, maybe not to people that aren't Doctor Who fans, but I always had Matt Smith since he played the Doctor as a big name.
No, he hasn't done much really since Doctor Who. Nothing big anyway. I'd say Karen Gillan is a bigger name than Matt Smith.
Oh yeah, she's done a few The Rock movies like Jungle. We're in the Jungle this time, or what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She's done more stuff. That's why she's a bigger name.
Oh, and Guardians, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, Marvel, she's there.
Yeah.
Matt Smith hasn't really. Let me have a look at him. Oh, The Crown.
The
obviously.
Crown. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of. That's what he is big from The Crown.
He's in 2 seasons though,
But it's the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, but I still don't think that's enough for him to be like, I want 15 million or whatever. I think he can get a decent paycheck, yes, but I don't think he's in any sort of a position to be like, well, pay me this or I'm not doing it.
I don't know. I think he was the big... like, when you look at the cast, he was the big name of the show. Like, he is the big name of the show, still.
Looking at this cast list, I think I'd probably put Reese...
not in terms of household.
Ifans above him.
Yeah, in terms of like what he's done and what he's worth, I'd agree with you. But not in terms of he's not a get. You don't go, fuck, have you seen that new Reese Ifans show?
He's a good actor.
I don't dispute that, and he loves lizards. That must be
he
said.
He does love lizards,
and he loves turning people into lizards. But what I'm saying is, he's not. People are far more likely to be like, have you seen that new Matt Smith show? Than have you seen that?
I don't think they are. I
think you're mad.
I don't think anyone's rushing out to see the latest, apart from Doctor Who nerds like me. I don't think anyone's rushing out to see the latest Matt Smith thing.
I might not dispute that had you not said that you think Reese Ifans is the one that they'd be rushing out to see.
I don't think anyone is to rush out Reese either, but I'd still put him at a higher as a bigger name.
He might
Matt
cut
Smith.
a higher check. I don't think he's a bigger name.
I maybe not now, but before the show, I would argue that he is.
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? We'll never know. We don't know how much Matt Smith got paid. Do you know?
Yeah, I know. And I know that I'm right.
All right.
The cast, though, is incredible.
Yeah.
I love Paddy was great as Viserys. I love Viserys. He is like the one good character.
Yeah,
really.
he's
Everyone
just
in
pure,
this is just awful. Just complete fucking scum of the earth, the lot of them. But fucking King Viserys, he doesn't want to go to war. He doesn't want his family to be torn apart. All he wants is to just have a fucking lovely time with his family.
Yeah.
And to know that they're all living in peace after he's gone.
One of my favourite fucking scenes in this whole thing. Firstly, it broke my little heart every time you see him being all old and frail and playing. Like,
Yes.
Alicent comes in and she's like, there's fighting in this region again, and he's like, I am literally building my Warhammer. Leave me alone. Like, I love all of that shit. I just loved it. When you give a character a little cute trait like that, it's so endearing. But no, I think one of my favourite scenes in this is how he's talking about how he will be remembered when he's gone, and he's his hand, who is that guy's dad. He's dead at this point. But he tells him, like, oh, you know, you're Viserys the Peaceful or something, and he's like, is that anything? And he's like, to people that to people that have any fucking sense of brain cell, that's everything. Like, you've been a great king, even if not a little passive, but you'd rather that than just everyone dying around you 24/7.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100% is good. And I really enjoy the scene that really got me was the scene where the Greens are like plotting to see who will fucking rule over is it Driftmark, I think.
I think they're just challenging the outright line of succession, aren't they?
Yeah, they're challenging the line of succession, and they got this plot to like install their own cunt or whatever.
Everyone's installing everyone everywhere.
Everyone's installing fucking everyone like it's a fucking Windows update. And fucking in comes Paddy at the last moment, and just stumbles towards the throne. But then the moment where he can't quite make it, and the crown falls, and then Daemon helps him. His brother helps him. It's just such a sweet moment, especially given everything they've had building up to that point as well.
Yeah.
Like the trouble the brothers have had. Like at the beginning, they were very much at odds. And Daemon being very unruly and well, he banished him, and they fucking almost went to war against each other. But you know, you do get that moment there where clearly he does love his brother very much. Clearly, they both do love each other. And yeah, just a sweet moment between the both.
That's a good through line through this whole thing. 'Cause even in, like, I think it's episode 2 when another guy, Rhaenys' husband, I can't recall his name, he goes to Matt Smith, he goes to Daemon, and he says something like, you know, we second sons, we make what we're owed, or something like that. And he just bluntly shuts him down and is like, I can speak how I want of my brother, but you shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
That's great. That whole Matt Smith gets brilliant lines in this. Like, he gets. I put it in for the teaser of what we're doing this week, last week. But he goes, you know, I can see what Otto Hightower is, and Viserys goes, oh, you know, a good loyal guy, and he just goes, a cunt. And he calls once Aegon has taken the throne from Rhaenyra, he's like, I'm not going to worship your usurping little alcoholic cunt, or whatever he says.
It's a great line.
It's a brilliant line.
Basically,
I like Matt Smith saying cunt.
Matt Smith's great. It's a shame the Doctor never got to say cunt more. Emma Darcy as Rhaenyra, one of the fucking highlights of the show. They are fucking incredible. As well as Olivia Cook as well, like I said earlier, that scene where they have the standoff between the two of them.
When they're trying to cut the eye out or something.
Yeah, after Aemon loses the eye.
Yeah.
And both of them just fucking powerhouses in that scene. The moment where Rhaenyra says to her, it's been tough keeping up the act, but now the veil is lifted, now they see me for what they are, and that sort of stuff. Just really good. Really fucking good stuff.
It is. It's very good stuff. No, that something about Emma Darcy as well. Have you noticed they've been like kind of?
They love a prosecco.
they do. That must be said. Yeah. Spagliato.
Yes.
I saw a tweet. That was like, tip your bartenders. You don't know how many times they've been asked for this drink. Only to acknowledge what everyone knows about that drink. It's fucking rank. It's disgusting.
How can it be rank if Emma Darcy likes
it?
True.
That's true. I apologise.
I'm going to have one right now.
Oh, God, he's got it out now. Oh, wonderful. Stunning.
Oh, hey up, Cook.
Oh, bloody hell.
That's got a Prosecco.
That's fucking lovely. No,
It's very bad, your Northern.
I was joining in. I thought we were doing it together there.
No, I can do it. You can't.
No, that's fine then. I'm Northern these days.
No, you're fucking not. I'm not getting into this.
I'm only
Continue.
doing it to annoy you. No, one thing I was going to say about Emma Darcy. Have you noticed they've been suspiciously? I don't want to like accuse anyone of anything. Not that Jimmy Fallon's fucking on the other end of this seething. You seen any cast interviews with them?
Only the HBO ones,
Yeah,
where they're talking about the Negroni.
Almost every single cast member, even some of the kids, have been on talk shows, have been doing a load of press, and it's, I don't know, suspiciously absent, which
I don't know.
I'd like to see less of. I feel like that's not cool.
Maybe it could be something they just don't want to do.
Maybe that's true. I would.
I don't know. If it isn't, then that's pretty shitty.
If it's something along the lines of a talk show host doesn't want to slip up on live TV, that's shitty. I think.
I saw a point. I think I saw this on Twitter. About it's an interesting point. Obviously, Emma Darcy is non-binary, uses they them pronouns, which is what we're talking about here, basically. And I think a point was made that I saw, and I thought that's interesting, and I'm gonna be interested to see how it plays out come award season.
Yeah, that's
if they are in fact nominated for anything, or will award shows and organizations finally get with the times and stop segregating this sort of stuff?
The
and
answer:
just have
no.
Oh, the more likely answer is they just won't want to deal with the hassle and just won't nominate them.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because
Big shame.
they're very good. They do an amazing performance. So
Easily
I'm
one of the
interested
best.
to see.
I would say them and Paddy Considine.
Yeah,
They're up there. Yeah.
Very good. All very good. Really, I like Kristen Cole's just straight up petty bitch energy that he has. Like he was wronged. He was perceived to be wronged in his own mind, and then he just cannot let that go.
No.
It's been 20 years and dude is still just seething.
It's when he's walking around with Alison and he's like, I can't believe Rhaenyra did that. Spoilt little cunt. I'm like, bro, get over it, man. You fucking.
I know.
Also, like
10 years at that point. Fucking hell.
Mate, also, consider yourself extremely lucky, right? You were assigned to protect her. You fucked up, and you've somehow come out, one, with your head, and two, an advisor to the Queen. You're on the upswing, man. You've done well.
Yeah.
Let it go. One thing I was going to ask you about, and I'm conscious of time, so we'll try and get through some stuff. One thing I was going to say to you: do you think the show picks a side? Do you think this is a Greens versus Blacks, or do you think this is open to interpretation? Do you think the show has a clear choice? And where are you at with it as well?
I think I feel like the show does lean more favorably towards Team Black.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's difficult. Because the Greens are doing some shady shit.
Yeah.
Like, whether or not that's like, how it is in the book, I don't know. I kind of feel like from what I've seen, the book has a more balanced view, and it's just pick a side. Here's what happened. Well, the book it's not a book. It's like written as a history book, like in worlds. It's like, and in 1422, Aegon did a shit and was a bad king or whatever.
Side point: if you've ever managed to read a Game of Thrones book, like, I commend you. I bought one and I was really ambitious, really, really naive to the fact that I got through a chapter. I went, this is a lot. There's a lot of this.
Yeah, it's tough. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it. It's a lot.
It is.
I'll just watch the show. So I don't know what happens. Like I say, at the moment I am team. Well, as much as I can be, I guess, because they're all terrible.
Yeah.
But I am leaning more towards Team Black. Whether or not that'll stay that way, I don't know. But that's where we are at the moment.
I think it's a fun exercise, because I thought you would say that, and I completely hold the same kind of point. What I am, because I think maybe past the point of like episode 3 onwards, Team Black has kind of just been the shinier of two shits that are constantly being dealt blows by Team Green, who are shady and snaky.
Yes.
But on the flip side of that, it has come about because Rhaenyra is a big fucking liar. Was it like a bunch of kids?
What's she lying about? The family.
The whole line of succession.
Yes,
Basically, Alicent's in only point.
But
And she's hypocritical as fuck.
But she's lying for honourable reasons, though. The reason she's lying is because her at the time husband would probably have been killed for being a gay man.
Did they try? Because it's possible.
This doesn't seem like the kind of era where you want to fucking roll the dice and see if that will go well for you, does it?
No, I mean, like, he can fucking have kids with her, even if he's gay.
Oh, no, sorry, okay, they did try.
No, don't get me wrong, if I was gay in this era, I don't think I'd let anyone know. I don't even think I'd let her know.
No, they did try, yes.
Okay.
They mentioned that. They did try, didn't work out.
He just was up. Alright, gonna have to get someone else in for this. Yeah. Tap in, bro.
Yeah. They tried. They did mention that.
Okay, fair enough. I must have missed that. But yeah, so I get the lying for honourable reasons. That's absolutely cool. Yeah, I completely understand that. Maybe don't marry him. Maybe marry someone else that you want to have kids with.
She didn't really have much choice, though, did she?
No, I know, but she put her foot down in other aspects of stuff. I guess it was when they were arguing and she was a child. I get all of that. But yeah, it's quite funny. I do like how Alicent at the same time is like, she's been scandalous. She's not fit to sit on the Iron Throne. She's an adulterer and all this and blah blah blah. And then she's getting her feet out for fucking that fella to have a little wank.
I hate that cunt.
Yeah.
He is.
Have you heard what people are calling him?
What? Little foot.
So I've heard little foot. I've heard middle finger. And I've heard little toe.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
I don't know his actual name.
He's something.
Oh, it's
strong.
Larys.
Yeah, Larry. Big Larry.
Big Laz.
I don't like him. What a fucking weird.
I don't think you're
creep.
meant to.
No, you're absolutely not. You're absolutely supposed to be very uncomfortable around him. It's very weird that this show can be like, hey, here's an uncle fucking his niece, and I'm like, nothing wrong with that. here's a guy just jerking off to a foot. I'm like, this is fucking disgusting, man.
It is a lot, isn't it, though? But I think it's the way it's presented, because, like...
Where's your thoughts on incest these days?
Well, they've remained fairly consistent, I'll be honest. I don't vary too much from my opinion, which is that in Game of Thrones, it's whatever.
It is what
in
it
real
is.
life, I can't say that I'm for it. I think I'm actually strongly opposed to it.
Well, there you are. Lawrence has taken us down.
It's a bit of a hot take for you guys there. Yeah, I like the. Do you like the? I think, and Olivia Cook described her character as this as well, and I think it's quite fitting. That Alicent is basically just a Trump supporter.
How do you mean?
Well, I think she explained it like this. I don't want to misquote her, so I'm going to kind of say my interpretation of it as well. Basically, she has a very strong sense of what she believes is right. Anything beyond what she can see and is feasibly right in her mind is ignored. And she's very happy to willfully bend the truth to suit her agenda, bend a lot of morals and ethical concerns to defeat what she perceives as a greater evil than the evil she's doing to defeat it. Like there's a lot of all that basically, and it is painted like this in the show. I think at least she's a religious nut. She's got a strong fucking opinion on the line of succession because of things that the gods would condemn her for. But in trying to prove that and in trying to take steps against Rhaenyra's succession, she is guilty of a lot of the crimes that like, I mean, just the foot thing alone. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the gods aren't watching that and be like, yeah, this is pretty fair enough. This is good stuff.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that stuff. I don't think the whole series, the whole thing reads as a Trump allegory or
But
whatever.
not the whole thing. More her character's like internal kind of psyche, I guess.
Yeah, good stuff. I like how I think it's Aemond is just the most anime looking motherfucker ever.
Yeah. He's always got pursed lips, isn't he?
He does. He always has pursed lips. He looks great. He's probably my favorite character actually.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, he's great. I love that he just accidentally started a whole fucking war.
And the
as
look
well.
on his face as well when
yeah,
he starts.
he's
that-
like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah.
He's
that
dude's gonna walk back to King's Landing and just be like, shit.
Mom, I started a war. Yeah, I love that. I love the one thing that I liked in this as well. The dragons seem. I know we joked earlier about how Drogon in Game of Thrones was like the symbol of the patriarchy must be burned.
Yeah.
But like that was kind of the only instance of that happening. I like that in this show the dragons seem to have more personalities to them. And also more free will. Like the whole death of Lucerys comes from the fact that neither of them can control their dragons.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, the death of a child has really tickled me.
Well, it has. Yeah. Sorry, I just find it. I liked the last episode for the most part. We haven't even talked about why I didn't, but it's probably too late to get into it now. Fuck it. Basically, the unbirthing scene. Just
Oh
very
no, let's
fucking-
get into it. Yeah.
Let's not. I'd rather not.
No.
It's just bad. Unnecessary.
Yeah.
And fucking bad and traumatic as well for a lot of people to watch.
Yeah.
Very,
Very overtly graphic and not
Yes.
not necessary. We can get the idea from imagery. We don't need it that in depth.
No,
Just because you can does not mean you should.
no. You absolutely should not. Anyway, well, the reason I was laughing is just because I was just remembering you have the anime-looking motherfucker on the world's biggest dragon, just an absolute fucking unit.
Yeah.
Just this absolute beast roaring through the sky. And then you've got little fucking Jack Targaryen or whatever his name is on just this Fisher Price My First Dragon. Fucking just this tiny little tricycle of a dragon.
It's like
it's
the
like some
Titanic
kid on a
versus
tricycle. It's like some kid on a tricycle being chased down by a fucking monster truck. It's like,
I was just
great.
picturing the Titanic versus a pedalo is literally like
yeah, it's great.
It
It's
is.
good stuff.
There's even a shot where like the bigger dragon flies overhead, and you're like, "Whoa!"
It's a great shot. It's
a
a
great
great
shot.
shot with the light being illuminated by the lightning and stuff.
Yeah,
Great, very tense.
very foggy again.
Yeah, but rip to Jon Targaryen or whatever your name was.
Yeah.
Gone too soon, probably.
Who knows?
But that is House of the Dragon. I look forward to season 2 in 6 years' time.
I was trying to think of a joke there. House of the Dragon was good. I look forward to Hotel of the Dragon,
The flats
like
of
House of the Dragon on deck. There's some in there, but I haven't landed on it.
No. You see, this is where your terrible tweets come from. You see, you get an idea. You're like, there's something there, but then you don't develop it. And then you just go, I'll just put that out. Do you know, feel free to cut this out.
Yeah.
But I realised why I hate, and I mean that sincerely,
Yeah.
I hate your tweets. Okay?
Yeah.
Because I was struggling for a long time, because every time you tweet, like your fucking latest one that pissed me off, let me just pull this up now.
Was it the Doctor Who one?
It was the Doctor Who one, yes. Hashtag Doctor Who, and then it's just a fucking screen cap of a video from Epic Rap Battles of History.
Yeah.
With some guy playing the 10th Doctor in a very CGI TARDIS background.
Yes.
What does that mean, Lawrence? Please explain that tweet to me.
So in my mind, and right, I'd like to point out when I tweeted this, I was not like, this is a laugh out loud banger. It was tweeted because I was like, I should tweet something. And then I couldn't think of what to tweet. Yeah.
Exactly. See, this is my point. Exactly. There's the reason I figured out why I hate your tweets so much is because they are exactly the same as brand tweets in that there's just no sustenance to them. They'll be like fucking Kit Kat will tweet out a picture of a chocolate bar like next to a blue box, and they'll be like hashtag Doctor Who, because Doctor Who is popular and they want you to know that their brand also exists.
Yeah.
But that's it. There's no thought put into it. There's not a single creative idea behind it. It's just the lowest common denominator of here is thing that is popular, and here I am, so you know I am still relevant. Please like me. That's exactly what it fucking is, and it infuriates me. That's why I don't like your fucking bullshit corporate energy tweets.
That's fair. The worst thing is it's fair.
Yeah, it's right.
It is right. It is fair.
It's fully fucking right. Terrible stuff.
We still have the question to do. What we do at the start of these, if you've skipped forward, if you missed it, or if you don't know, if you're here for the first time, whatever, I ask Nathan a question at the start of the podcast. This is usually maybe a hypothetical. It could be a would you rather situation. It could be just I want his take on something. And today, the question that I asked him was that Game of Thrones was in the mud, and this show, House of the Dragon, revived it. So what largely considered bad movie or TV show or IP or franchise or whatever, do you think that with a spin-off or a revival could be kind of re-energized and new life being kind of brought into it? I said, you don't have to give me the premise, you don't have to tell me what you would do, you just got to give me the reason why you think it has promise and what you do, basically. You get it.
I do. So, one of my favourite TV shows, and I have to say that with a caveat, because not all of it is good, and in fact most of it is bad. But one of my favourite TV shows is The Simpsons. Mm-hmm. And The Simpsons is widely considered as some of the best comedic writing, if you only look at the first 10 seasons.
How many seasons are there now? Like 40 or some shit, right?
It's up to like 32 or something.
Fuck me.
And it's still on.
Jesus.
Yes. So the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons are just fucking pure fucking gold, basically. Just some of the best comedic writing, just really incredible, top-notch stuff. And it's widely agreed that after the first 10 seasons, like when writers move on to other stuff and everything, the show just goes downhill. I think it's still going.
I think when you have a show that's set that you have to say the first 10 seasons for, it's probably already a bad sign. Yes,
that's true. So what I would do is I would do one final season of The Simpsons, and it would technically be a spin-off, because the thing about The Simpsons, and I think the problem with animated sitcoms in general is that no one ages. Everyone's just the same age forever. Yeah. Like, we're here, like, Simpsons have had like 30 different New Year's episodes. Like, each one, like, going, now it's 2002 and I'm still 10 years old. Now it's 2000.
Do they acknowledge that the time passes?
They acknowledge it. It's just because who cares? It's like animated. They've had like 30 Christmas episodes and Bart's still 10. Like,
fuck,
it doesn't mean
weird.
shit.
Yeah.
There's no ongoing through line. It's just what are they up to this week? You know?
Let's check in on what the Simpsons are doing.
Exactly. So that's why you don't have to age them up, which I think is why the idea of animated sitcoms has been attractive. But I always saw it as a hindrance. I always thought it would be much more interesting if you did age them up as the show went along. So my idea is we come back for one final season, 10 episodes. The cast are aged up, not necessarily to what they would be in real time, because I think like Homer would probably be dead, maybe. Well, no, but he'd be like old.
He'd be getting on,
Yeah. So like maybe a bit younger. I don't know. We can figure that out. But one final thing, we can find out what they've been up to in those years that we haven't seen how their lives have turned out, and then finally put it to bed. Bring it back for one final season, have some good laughs along the way, bring back the original writers, Conan and all that shit, and then let it rest after that.
Was Conan a writer on The Simpsons?
Conan was like one of the big fucking starting points of it. He's
shit.
like the reason it got off. Yeah.
I like that. I think that's good. I think, are you, like season-wise, would you keep the characters like the same age? Would it be like the whole season of Bart as a 30-year-old, or would you see like Bart as late teens, 20s?
I think I think he'd stay the same as let's say a 30-year-old, but I think throughout the season we might get flashbacks as to what he'd been up to.
I like that.
Time.
I like I think you're right though. It is a hindrance because like you were telling me for the longest time to watch it, and I've recently finished a whole watch through of Modern Family, and you get so much more material once people are a certain age. Like this basically there's storylines you can't do with a 10-year-old, but you can do with a 20-year-old. It opens doors rather than
Luke
closes.
wasn't banging a MILF when he was 10 years old.
It would have been wildly inappropriate.
Yeah.
Every now and again I see clips of like how the kids look, because I watched it all in the space of like maybe like 3 months, maybe a bit less. And like you know as you go along with it, you watch them grow up, but it's gradual. It's like real life. You don't notice until you suddenly see it. And I just remember every now and again I look at a picture of like one of the younger kids and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, you look like that. And even like the adults, and I'm like, wow, like Ed Harris used to have hair. What the fuck?
You did? Not anymore.
No, not anymore. No, I like that idea. I think that's a good answer. I was worried you were going to say The Walking Dead when you said a show that you liked, but most of it's banned.
I didn't like The Walking Dead.
You've been. I've had you on this podcast saying on record that you think like the early seasons of Walking Dead are prime TV stuff.
I think I said the first season. Let's not be generous.
That's true. Yeah, season 2 is not up to scratch. I tried to rewatch that. Did I tell you?
No.
I tried to rewatch.
I don't know why you would.
I didn't know why either, and I soon figured out.
Our final season is still going on.
The final season's been going on for about 8 years.
Should we get verified on Twitter for $8 a month?
What, another happy pod?
Yeah.
See, I can see the benefits. I can also see why we just look like fucking knobs. Because everyone's in on it. Everyone knows.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like, I don't think we should. I think it'd be funny. But then being funny would also mean giving money to Elon Musk. And I don't want to do that. He's got enough.
He has got enough, and I see your point, but it's also like £8 to him is fucking nothing.
Then why does he want it?
Because everyone's £8.
Well, exactly. It's on the fuck off.
Yeah,
he's already got it.
I think maybe we should do it for 1 month and wreak as much havoc as we can. Go to every verified account, be the top account under it. Go to every single podcast that we think is beneath us and comment, ours is better, and be the top comment.
What if we get ratioed?
Oh, yes, true. What if we do get? I don't think I can handle it.
We're a verified account getting ratioed as well. That's embarrassing.
Oh, that is embarrassing. Yeah, because we haven't got the numbers on our side.
Exactly, we don't.
Although we might do with the blue tick. Well, maybe we build our following, and then on month 2 we start ratioing people. As if that idea is ever going to come to fruition, or Twitter won't be burnt to the ground before then. Anyway, people are going to.
He says he wants to have it done by the end of this month.
Yeah, okay. And he'll just what will happen is he'll fire the people that didn't get it done, bring in new people, and they'll be like, this is still unrealistic.
That's what he said. He said he'll fire the people who.
He said that.
Yeah, like it's out there. Like he'll fire the team if they. I don't think he said it, but someone at Twitter said that he said he'll fire the team if it's not done.
I was about to say I think he's too smart to outright say that, but he's not. He's a fucking moron.
He's not. He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, thank you. So if you've reached the end of this, then we appreciate you listening. It's been a slightly longer episode, or I may cut it the fuck down and it won't be a slightly longer episode. Who knows?
I know.
Nathan will know, and he will judge me.
I'll tell you on Twitter for $8 a month.
Ah, there we go. And then we'll ratio you for good measure too. And if I cut out that segment, there's no context there. Who knows? As Tom Baker's curator doctor says.
You seen Tom Baker lately? That guy's not looking well.
Oh, is he not?
No, he is looking frail.
I mean, he is like fucking 1,000,000 years old. Anyway, thank you for listening. You can follow us on social media. We are at Another Happy Pod, and we're on Twitter, where we will ratio you. We're on TikTok, and we're also on Instagram, although we almost always forget to upload stuff on there.
Yeah.
Because you
And forget to upload stuff on TikTok too.
Yeah. Well, no, we don't. Nathan does.
It's true, I do.
It's a fact. It's a fact. Next week we're going to be doing this.
I want to go to Honolulu.
Charles, what are you wearing?
It's my Hawaiian hula skirt.
So that will seem like a good time, or maybe terrible. Neither of us have seen it, but it seems fun.
What episode is this?
This is 95.
So in 5 weeks,
Ooh.
it is our 100th episode.
Share this out. Let everyone know.
Let your nan know. I won't say what it is, but we have something very special coming up for our 100th episode. It's confirmed.
It is.
It's booked in.
It is.
It's all scheduled and good to go.
It is.
Now we just need to make sure Lawrence's internet works and we don't lose the recording. Because fuck me.
Oh my god. I think we'd end the podcast. 99
Yeah.
is good enough for me after that, if that happens.
I would shoot myself live on air. So get hyped. Start those hashtags. Hashtag another happy 100 episodes for your mum.
It's just a fucking catchy
Hashtag another happy 100 episodes for your mum.
Let me end.
Get that trending. And we'll see you at the 100th episode, but also listen to the other ones before that.
That's true.
So
you can review us
see you
before
in
then.
5 weeks.
Give us a 5-star review if your platform allows
5-star review for 5 weeks.
it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, I'm ending the recording. Goodbye, everyone.